Alright guys, welcome back to part 2 of the front end. It is the same day as the last video, but this next video is going to be cleaning up the rest of the front end. So that's going to be headlights, that's going to be the bumper, and the inserts. And then hopefully we can put the belly pan back on it. Nope, we won't do that because the oil still needs to be changed. We're going to do the bumper, we're going to do the headlights, and I'd really like to see if I can't take this apart and get it broken down to just the white piece so that we can maybe plasti dip it and then throw everything else back on. That's kind of my goal. Looks like just a bunch of clips, so it should be pretty straightforward. And then we can run to the hardware store and pick up some plasti dip and give it a shot. I've never used plasti dip, so maybe it'll come out alright. So with that being said, let's jump back here to the box. Razor blade. And let's see what we got. So that should do it. Apologize for the camera work here. So inside we have one new bracket, and there should be a second new bracket as well. These are the left and right side bumper guides, is what they call them. They bolt right onto the radiator support. And 2 bolts, I think. So let's start with these. Let's get these put on, and then from there we will fit the headlights, and then maybe test fit the bumper, and then start taking that apart. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've taken this across the crash bar off because those bolts right here not lining up is driving me nuts. So I've just kind of mocked it up in here and found all the pieces to where those would mount. So basically what I've done is I'm just kind of lining it. You see where the crack is. Just kind of lining it all up, and it lines up pretty good. I'm not holding anything perfect, so it's a little bit off, but so that is one of our points that is just not going to line up, and based on the structure of it, I'm okay with that. But I just wanted to make sure that nothing was bent, because everything else, as you can see, lines up. Well, I've moved it a little bit, but as you can see, everything else lines up pretty well on both sides. So basically, that confirms that nothing here is bent or out of shape or whatever. It is actually, that is just one of the differences between the Jetta version and the Rabbit version. Jetta, Rabbit. So I'm going to put it back together. It only is going to take a few minutes. I did throw a headlight in there to just kind of see how it fit. And for the most part it fits okay. So we got some work to do on our gaps and stuff, but the first initial fitment, it fits pretty darn good. I don't really have too many complaints. But our biggest problem that I'm going to have to come up with some type of solution for, which if you look at this piece, this is the old one. We're lined up here, it's got a pin, screw point, and it mates right up to where it would fasten right there. Well, my problem is on the Volkswagen, or on the Jetta cross-car beam, or core support, geez, I'm struggling with words. There is a big gap in here on where it should be. So, what I'm gonna have to do is figure out what that gap is and make a spacer, because the screw that goes in there is fairly well. This is a headlight screw, but I can make that work right there. It's pretty long. It would stick out through here pretty far, and I can make that work. The only thing I got to make sure I don't do is go through my radiator, which it won't. So I'm not too worried about it. Actually, it goes there. So I need to figure out what that dimension's supposed to be and put a spacer in there. So I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to use as a spacer. I may run to Ace Hardware and see if they don't have some tube stock in plastic or something. But yeah, that's my next kind of hold up. I'm going to put all this front end back together. I'm not going to worry about the overlap of this to those fasteners. I'm not going to worry about that. Probably go back to the junkyard tomorrow, pick up the fasteners and stuff that I need. And for the headlight, and then make sure that I can get the spacer that I need. It's really a bummer because I really wanted to get this finished today. What I guess I could do is use, no, can't use that. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with some spacers on there and just kind of space it, because it should be fine with that, because you're basically just modifying this one to be the dimensions of that one. So I don't see that being a problem. With that being said, that's gonna do it for this part of the upload. Like I said, this will be a two-parter. That's not enough. I want to put a little bit more into. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. It is a new day, guys, and we are headed off to the junkyard. I'm going to, hopefully, it's a damaged front end, but I'm going to pull it apart and take as many of the fasteners as I can so that we can come back and get that one put together. I also need to find something to bridge that gap on the intersection of the bumper guide brackets. I'm not really sure what I'm going to use for that. I'm going to take a look around the junkyard and see if I can't find anything. I'm trying to think of something that might be the right shape that I need, but I haven't really thought of anything yet. So yeah, we'll see what we can find. So let's go. Alright guys, so we are back from the junkyard and ready to finish this thing up for today anyway. Might mock up the bumper because doesn't make sense to put it on because I still need the plastics, which still have not arrived yet. So, with that, I'd say it was a successful trip to the junkyard. We got all of our headlight bolts, we got a whole bunch of bumper screws, and then I found these, which were part of the old, part of the, I guess it's the Jetta plastic, the bumper guide bracket. But I think, because of the shape of it, I think we might be golden to almost set this up here and use that as our spacer. And we can run our screw right through there and through the back, because there's a whole bunch of room in the back of there. So my other thought is, based on what I'm seeing, I might be able to just use this screw here. I might just be able to use this screw, a headlight screw, because I have enough of them in there. And I think that will be enough to bridge the gap of that part. So I'm pretty excited about that. I just need to drill out that hole. I forgot to do it on this side. So let's get these headlights put in. Let's get that hole drilled, and let's get those guide brackets on and see how well that is going to bridge our gap. Sorry guys, I didn't realize that the battery had died, but we did get those brackets on, so we're good to go there. It worked pretty well. We got the headlights all in. I have no idea where the battery died. I'll have to wait until I start editing that, but either way, we got it all put together. Now I'm gonna end up, let's test fit the bumper. And then I want to test fit the white plastic piece before we clean that up, and maybe we'll paint that today. Do a little plasti dip on that. Oh yeah, that's right. I did pick up some plasti dip, which I have never used before. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm just going to put black to, really the goal of the black is to tie in with the headlights, because the backing, as I showed before, is black for the headlights. So hopefully that really helps it carry through. But I don't know, we'll see. It beats trying to color match it, I think, because I don't know that I'd be able to get it that red. Yeah, so let's get to test fitting. Alright guys, what do you think? Got everything kind of mocked in place. The only thing, I mean, we got a whole bunch of screws that are missing, so the fender will, or the bumper will fit a little bit better. We got some adjusting to do in the hood. You see a large gap here, small gap here. The same thing here, large gap here, small gap here. So we got some fender adjusting to do. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. So the only thing you gotta imagine, this section, this white section, black across the front, I think that's gonna make it look real nice, real nice. But it came together pretty well. I think it came together real nice. So with that being said, let's get the white piece off. I want to get it tore down, cleaned up, and I'd really like to get it sprayed. Like I said, I don't know how much prep work you need to do for Plasti Dip, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on that. Maybe the can has got some prep work in it. I don't think it's like paint. I think you can go right over top of paint, but I've got more than enough to just go over the paint, and if it doesn't come out well, then we can do what we got to do there. Because it's only this little piece, and it said the can should cover I think 5 to 8 or 5 to 10 or something like that square feet. So that shouldn't be a problem at all. So other than that, I think it turned out pretty good. Nice little rabbit. So let's get that white piece taken off. Let's get it cleaned up. Let's see if we can't get some of the chrome accents off in the plastic, and so we have less prep work to do, and get it cleaned up, and let's get it Plasti Dipped. So we got it all cleaned up. I just did a quick kind of like soap and water wipe down on it with the microfiber, and I've put it in this box because I don't really have I don't want a whole bunch of overspray everywhere. So I think the box will contain most of it. A little bit is not a big deal. So it's all cleaned up. I'm going to give it a minute or two to dry completely, so we don't get any runs or anything like that. And then we're just going to spray it. We're going to see how it turns out. Like I said, worst case, we have to go back through and redo it. But either way, it's kind of like an experiment. So white isn't going to work, so let's try Plasti Dip. It's pretty inexpensive. It's like 10 bucks a can for a complete color change. So let's give it a coat. I'm going to do a light coat, and then we'll do a little thicker coats. It says it recommends 3 to 4 coats, so we'll probably do 4 coats, and didn't see how long in between coats. It says allow 30 minutes minimum between coats, so it'll take a little while to get this done, but that's alright. We can I think I'm going to wash the truck in the meantime because she's filthy. So let's get that first coat on there. washing this thing is so much easier when you take the time to really give it the loving it deserves. Last time I went through and I washed and waxed everything, and this took literally a half hour to wash and dry the whole thing, and boy did it turn out fantastic. Gotta love a clean vehicle. And I've decided that since I have all the stuff out and there's a little bit of soap left over, now's a good time to clean those floor mats. Alright guys, and with that done, this will be the third coat of Plasti Dip on that. Looking pretty darn good. And that's going to do it for this episode. What's left we will cover in the next one. We got a lot of odds and ends to kind of button up. Reinstall this stuff, which I cleaned this up kind of with a brush, so it's better. We got adjustments in the body panels. We've got install those front pieces and install the bumper. And we still need to change the oil. And I noticed that there's another leak, or there is still a leak under there, so we need to diagnose that. I'm not really sure what it is, but those are the things that we have left to do on this project. So we will be covering hopefully all of those, if not most of those, in the next upload. So if you like what you see, if you like what we're doing here, please give it a like. Please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next upload.